Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the first aftermath of the season. If you haven't seen the aftermath before, this is the show we do when the dust has settled from the live post-match reaction, which is always very instant, very passionate, sometimes a little bit quick-thoughted, if that's the right word, and you have time to think and reflect, and then the aftermath is always quite a good show to do. I'm currently outside of the gym. I thought I'd do this before I go in the gym, or I'll be a sweaty mess, hence my attire. I don't often do videos in sleeveless tops. I'm sure the trolls will be in the comments right now, give me jip anyway, but you know what, I don't care. So the aftermath of this game, really, I talked a lot about the performance yesterday in the post-match analysis. I'm not really going to go back into that. The aftermath clearly is all about one man. It was the one man that we didn't really want to talk about, but it was the one man that was almost inevitable that Newcastle United fans and everyone around the world of football was going to talk about, and that was Alexander Isak. Obviously, we all know the situation now in Alexander Isak, unless you've been living on the moon or you've just woke up from a coma. If you have, hello, it's 2025 and a player is on strike. It's not Pierre Van Hooijdonk in the 90s, no, it's Alexander Isak in 2025. It's very, very similar, to be fair, if you go back and look at the old Van Hooijdonk story. Nottingham Forest fans in the comments, if you're there, you'll remember him very well. But going back to the situation, would Newcastle United have won that game with a centre forward? Yes, probably. Would they have won that game, Alexander Isak, at his full pomp? Probably, because he would have took the chances that were created and we would have won that game, because Villa weren't at it. Villa were poor, and Villa fans will know that as well. But it's not about that. What this was about was a fantastic opportunity. It was a televised game, live on TNT Sports, live around the world, for Newcastle United fans in particular to finally use the media to their advantage, not to their disadvantage, which has been used over the summer by, certain journalists whose agendas you may question or motives you may question. No, this was a great opportunity for Newcastle United fans to use this as a mouthpiece, and that's exactly what they did. Anthony Gordon went over and got interviewed by TNT. I was watching that, and he was brilliant. He spoke really well. He talked about togetherness. He talked about how the Isak situation is the first real test to this squad like this, and that refers back to his own situation, where a lot of us, me included, looked at the situation and thought he down tools, he was huffy, he wanted to move to Liverpool, and he didn't do anything near what Alexander Isak has done. So I owe Anthony Gordon an apology for that, for my kind of take on that situation. And everybody who did think the same way back then, Anthony Gordon was professional. He got on with his job. He didn't refuse to train, didn't refuse to play, got back and put in some key performances in arguably the best season we've had in the Premier League. But he spoke about unity, he spoke about togetherness. That was something as well. Dan Burn spoke about excellently as well when he got interviewed. But the big thing, and it was at the end of the game, and the fans were absolutely spectacular. Newcastle away fans are a different breed, man. They really are. They're unbelievable. They follow this club all over the country. They're very different to the home crowd. The home crowd's amazing as well, but very, very different. And they took the opportunity to sing. There's only one greedy bastard in the game, which I thought was magnificent. And credit as well to Aston Villa fans and Newcastle fans in unison, singing about how they've been shafted by PSR in the Premier League. That was good to see as well. There's been beef between Villa and Newcastle for a long time, but they've maybe reached a commonality there that they can rally against, and that is how they feel like they're being prevented from breaking into that top 5, top 4 party because of PSR and FFP. But that's a sidebar. So going back to the Isak situation, the chance that there's only one greedy bastard were going around the ground, and then one of the best chants, one of my favourite chants, was I don't care about Isak, he don't care about me, all I care about is NUFC. And I thought the fans were magnificent to get that across, and I'm going to talk about what it means for Isak coming back in a second. But Eddie Howe was brilliant, and he's been brilliant throughout this whole thing. Eddie Howe was asked about that after the game, and he said the fans were magnificent, they cheered us on, and the supporters, and he said if they want to say something, they're entitled to say something. That's their right. And of course, Eddie's going to answer it in an eloquent, articulate, and brilliant way, which is exactly what he did, and he always does. But that's Eddie's way, I think, subtly, of just saying, you let him know how you feel, guys. And I don't think that Eddie's closed the door on Isak, because when you've got a player of such quality, I think as a manager, you'd be daft to until you know you've got a body in to replace him. Once that body's in, if he does come in, I think Wissa should be done this week. More on that in a second. Talks to Ramos at PSG. You get a player like that in, then I think Howe will gladly see the back of Alexander Isak. But what does this all mean for Isak's return? Now, I've kind of gone back and forth with this, and I've always been of the mindset that he's too good of a player to leave out of the squad. If the window shuts and he's still here, he's got to buckle up and he's got to play. But I think what we saw yesterday certainly from the fans. I'll get into that in a second. But from his own teammates, I think he's lost the trust of his own teammates as well. I saw Wayne Rooney and Anshir on Match of the Day speaking quite well about this. And to be fair, the criticism of Match of the Day, for God's sake, guys, it's only one episode, for God's sake. People say, no, it's not the same work, Lineker. Bring it on. It's one episode, man. Give the guys time, for fuck's sake. Chappers is a great presenter. I'm sure that'll be a good show. But Shearer obviously spoke very passionately about it, as you imagine. But Rooney did the same thing. And Rooney obviously had a similar situation at Manchester United, where he had put in a transfer request to go to Man City when he thought Manchester United were in total disarray, and they were at that particular time. And he didn't refuse to train, though. He didn't refuse to play. The senior players spoke to him, were disappointed in him. He came out and apologised for his actions. And Gary Neville's talking about that in the overlap as well. And Isak's done a total opposite thing. And Rooney was saying exactly the right noises, that he's handled this appallingly, Isak, and the whole world of football media seem to be in unison with this, that he's handled this appallingly. It's only really the plastic Liverpool fans who are so thirsty to get the player. Certain Liverpool supporting and former Liverpool playing pundits won't criticise him for his actions because they want him to go to Liverpool, because they think Isak to Liverpool means you win the league. Man City were fantastic, by the way, yesterday. I know Wolves were dreadful, but those players for City, look at Reinders, what a player, 50 million quid. City found a real bargain there, and I think I'd love City to win the league, especially spending a smidgen of what Liverpool will do if they get Isak. But going back to the situation with the players, I don't think the players trust him anymore. If he comes back into the team, going back to Van Hooijdonk thing, actually, if you look that up, it's an interesting story that even when Van Hooijdonk come back, he scored something like 6 goals in 9 games or 10 games, and none of his teammates celebrated with him. They celebrated with the people who created the assist for him rather than Van Hooijdonk himself. And that could be a similar thing for Isak, I think, if he comes back. But listening to that from the fans the other day, for me, has made my mind up. I don't think there is a way back for Alexander Isak. I think what's gone on, what he's done, the way he's behaved has been absolutely deplorable. He's disrespected the club. He's disrespected those supporters who are letting him know how they feel. He's disrespected his teammates. But more importantly, he's disrespected the one man who's still in the media, in front of the cameras, who's very good at it, is still saying there's a way back from him, and that is Eddie Howe. We signed this kid from Real Sociedad when he had 6 goals in 30 games, injury concerns. None of the big clubs were in for him. Under Eddie Howe's tutelage, and those players who've put goals on a plate from. Something Eddie Howe says Alex isn't oblivious to, that he's aware of. Well, if he was aware of it, I think he would be involved. He can't blame this all on his representative, and his representative has been abysmal. This guy, I can't remember his name now. Let me know in the comments if you remember him. He's an old guy. I think he wants to retire after this. This is his last big payday. I think Oli Martinez is his Emi Martinez is one of his clients as well, and he's always trying to get him a move somewhere. So yeah, that is. They dropped my phone here. I'm getting cramp in the old hand. I need the selfie stick like Craig Hoop. But yeah, so he wants one big last payday. That's what this guy wants, and he's going to fuck off into the sunset and leave Alex Isak to deal with all of the noise. But yeah, I think he's lost the trust of the fans. He's lost the trust of his teammates. He hasn't lost the trust of his manager yet, but I think that's really, really close. And for me, I think Wissa comes in next week. And it's getting to the point for me now. I think if Liverpool come back with 125 million, I'd sell him, I'd get rid. I think he's toxic to the club. I think his presence is just going to cast a shadow over what should be a really good, exciting season for Newcastle to look forward to. And I think he's done now. I think listening to those fans basically say, that's it, game over. You're done in our eyes. And I think there's a majority of fans now who have really had enough of Alexander Isak and his antics. And football's a fickle beast. If he comes back and scores goals, a lot of those boos, a lot of those chants from yesterday will get quieter. But I think there's a big core of Newcastle fans right now who want nothing to do with this guy, because I've seen some brilliant comments and phrases about it. Lady Sam from Toon Review was on Sky. She was absolutely fantastic talking about this as well the other day. It's the trust of the supporters that he's lost. It's the feeling of the supporters that he's lost. You can not want to be at a club. You can put in good performances or bad performances or mediocre performances. But when you lose the fans as a player or a manager, that's a hard row back from it. Really, really is. And I think Isak has lost the supporters. I really do. A lot of fans are still trying to be pragmatic and talk about how he's an excellent player and all that. But he's an excellent player with an absolutely abysmal attitude. And I don't think I've seen a modern day footballer act so horrendously in the modern era. I really, really haven't. And Alexander Isak is everything that the no dickhead policy everyone keeps talking about is supposed to prevent. He's acted like an absolute dickhead. Now, you're in a bit of a quandary here. Do you sell him for less than he's worth? Is he worth 130, 40, 50 million? Yes, he is. right? Do you sell him for 125 million now if you get Wissa in and another, which I really hope the club go all out to get. If there's a chance to get Ramos from PSG, I really hope the club get Ramos, and I really, really do. I don't even care if Isak goes to Liverpool anymore. I don't care where he goes. I just want a top quality centre forward to come in alongside Wissa to lead Newcastle's line. But I'm honestly getting to the point now, I'm so fed up with this guy and listening to those supporters who have completely fell out of love with this man. Never mind him falling out of love with Newcastle, saying his time in Newcastle's over. These fans have decided your time at the club is over, son. They've had enough of you, and I think they were brilliant to do it, and every single one of them earned the right and deserved the right to make their voices heard. And I'm sick of Alexander Isak. I'm sick of the noise. I'm sick of the talk. I don't even want him back as a player. The longer this goes on, I'm starting to forget all of the great things that he did in the black and white shirt. I just think about how odious and disrespectful and you know, horrendous he is. I mean, effectively he's cost us 2 points there yesterday. It's a great point earned, but if he just played the game and got on with his job, he possibly would have played, scored a goal and, you know, and got us the win. It's getting to the point now with Isak where he's actually going to become more hated than Michael Owen was at the football club, which I didn't think was even possible. You know, Michael Owen left us as soon as we went down and ran to Manchester United and ruined his legacy at Liverpool as well. But Alexander Isak is getting to that point now where so many of these fans just can't forgive him and will never forget his antics. And I think that was a real barometer of that at Villa Park yesterday. I hope the club get this done. I hope they get Wissa. I hope they get another body in and we'll just get rid of this guy, because I think he has become toxic to the football club. And I've given up the thought of him being reintegrated in the squad. I really have. You know, if he is in Eddie manages to do it and he scores goals again and it helps us win games, then that's good. But I don't think I'll celebrate him. I don't think I could cheer him and sing his name. I really don't think I can after the disrespect he's showed to this club and these supporters. You know, what is it to say? It's not the name on the back of the shirt, it's the badge in the front that matters more. No player is bigger than this football club. Not even Alan Shearer, who was the best centre forward this club has ever had, statistically and, you know, physically as well. I watched that guy play at his prime. He was absolutely brilliant. No player is bigger than Newcastle United, not you, Alexander Isak. So let's get this toxic, odious twat out of this football club, get in a good replacement, get Wissa in as well, and then let's just get this season going, get motivated. Liverpool's up on Monday. That's going to be a bear pit of an atmosphere. We'll be back with loads more content. Keep it evermore, guys. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great Sunday wherever you are. Enjoy the sun or the gym like I'm going to right now, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.